Hey, what is going on, guys? This is Hero Talk, and the first scenes of Spider-Man Homecoming were revealed. So if you do not want to know anything about this story from Spider-Man Homecoming, you might consider this video a spoiler video, just because the actual beginning of the movie was revealed. But let's just get straight into this. So the first scene that we get is pretty interesting because it is actually attached to the end of the Avengers and the end of the Chitauri attack. Now, while the Avengers, the movie in 2012 itself, didn't really highlight what consequences the Chitauri attack brought to normal people and to the city itself, we now get a closer look on what ordinary people did with this situation, especially Adrian Toomes, who will be the Vulture and played by Michael Keaton. And in the first scene, we will see Adrian Toomes, how he arrives with his cleanup business together with his associates to clean up everything around the Stark Tower. Well, yeah, we already got to know that this is what Adrian Toomes did, until Tony Stark took care of it himself and established the Damage Control, which is a organization controlled by the government to just clean up and take care of every damage that the Avengers do. And so Adrian Toomes basically doesn't have a job anymore. So this sparks then anger towards Stark by Adrian Toomes, obviously, because he lost his job because of him. And the following is also nothing new, but we get to know that before leaving the damaged city, he tries to keep as many Chitauri technology as he can. And while they didn't mention it, I strongly think that he will bring these pieces to the Tinkerer, and together with the Tinkerer, he will then build the Vulture suit. And well, I think this is a pretty good opening scene because it just deals with something so central in the MCU, because the Avengers is pretty much the biggest event that we had until now in the MCU, and nobody really cared about what people think about it. We got here and there some references, for example, in the Netflix shows, but no one really dealt with the specific consequences of the Chitauri attack. And it's pretty good that we will see right at the beginning of Spider-Man Homecoming, which is set in New York, where the attack took place, how people deal with the situation. And we get the villain's backstory straight away, and that's also pretty nice. And it seems like the story is actually is deeper than most of the other villains' stories that we had until now in the MCU. And personally, I think that Spider-Man villains are very iconic villains just because they have so much character, in my opinion. Now, after we get to see basically the Vulture's origin, the movie then will continue to the events of Captain America's Civil War, or to be specific, the events before and after Civil War. Now we will see how what we already saw in the teaser for the first trailer, how Happy Hogan will bring Peter his new suit, and Peter just freaks out because he's so excited for his new suit that Tony upgraded. And then it's confirmed that we will see how Peter heads to Germany with a private jet, organized by Tony, obviously. And we will also see what Peter will do in Germany apart from the airport battle, which is pretty exciting. It doesn't really mention if we will see him just messing around in his new Spider-Man suit in Germany, or if he'll just do some sightseeing or something like that. But it would be pretty great to see how Peter interacts with his suit also outside New York. And apart from that, we will see a short recap of the airport battle from Peter's perspective, and then, which is also pretty important, we will see also how Peter goes back to New York and has to get used to his normal life again. So the filmmakers really try to put a focus on this contrast that we get from being Spider-Man, fighting together with the Avengers, and being a superhero, to being a normal teenager, normal student, and stuff like that. So we should really get to see the contrast between fighting with the Avengers and just going with public transportation to school and sitting around in school with other normal students and not being Spider-Man. So this is actually something that the screenwriters and the producers of the movie really wanted to highlight in this movie, just to give you this teen's perspective and how a teen deals with being a superhero. Anyway guys, I think this is a really good way to introduce this movie and Peter's character, together with his first appearance in Civil War. I think this is a really good fundament for this movie, because this movie will probably focus much on how Peter tries to deal with being a superhero, and how he tries to maybe focus his life more on the Spider-Man side and not on his Peter side. Just because he seems to be very interested into becoming an Avenger. An important aspect in the movie will probably be how Peter tries to prove himself of being an Avenger. But anyway guys, let me know in the comments what you think about this. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video and subscribe for more.